Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. In today's video, we are going to be talking about a number of things, to include how much money I made from my side hustles / business in 2021 and what those income sources were. And then we're also going to talk about some tax prep tips and tricks for the average small business owner, content creator, YouTuber, Instagrammer, whatever the case is, everything that I am. We are going to be talking about those things in today's video. So if that is of interest to you, then please keep watching. Before we dive fully into today's video, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Epson. What you're looking at is the Epson Rapid Receipt Scanner, an absolute powerhouse when it comes to organizing financial documents, invoices, receipts, all of the things. We will talk more about the Rapid Receipt Scanner in a minute. Let's go ahead and let's kick off this video. Okay, so I first have to say that I work a full-time job, and so that is actually the purpose of these types of videos. Now, if I didn't work a full-time job, I could still do these videos, but I really feel like it's important for me to share this information as a person who has a full-time job and who has no real interest in quitting that full-time job. The reason why I'm putting an emphasis on that is because I've always kind of had a side hustle. And so at one point I decided about 5 years ago that I wanted to find a side hustle or create some side income where I didn't actually have to leave the house. And so once I started learning all of these ways to make money from the comfort of my home from YouTube University, which is where this video is coming from, YouTube University, I felt like I kind of just had a mission. First of all, after I discovered that I could make money from home, and honestly a lot of it from home, I felt like it was my duty, my mission to kind of share that with other people. Lots of people have side hustles. It's unfortunate that some people do have to have side hustles or feel like they have to rely on side hustles to get their needs met and maybe even their wants, but there are some people like me who just enjoy having side hustles and multiple streams of income, and people who are really able to kind of use that money to do greater things than what they would be able to do without the side hustles. The side hustles that I've created here at home that my husband is able to help me with because they're home-based, they have kind of been able to help us to really catapult our investing journey and our early investment journey, because we are on track for an early retirement. So anyway, all of that to say, that's kind of the purpose of this video, just to kind of share what I've discovered. You know, after another 3 months, I typically share my online income reports types of videos once a quarter or at least a couple of times a year, just to share that I'm still out here, I'm still earning money, I am still looking for or coming upon new income sources, and I'm still just doing this. So that is the purpose of today's video. So let's go ahead now and talk about just some small business owner, content creator, YouTuber, Instagrammer types of tips and tricks. We are going into tax season. The deadline for filing your taxes for the 2021 year is going to be April the 18th, 2022. And I am prepping for taxes. I'm pretty much ready to go. I always am. And so I just want to share with you basically how I'm ready to go. Let's talk a little bit about that, and then we will talk about all of the income sources and all things money. So my first tip, and the first thing that I do at the end of each month or the beginning of the new month, is I track all of the income that has come to me. I track all of the business income. Now, sometimes that's not that many sources. Other times it's a lot of sources. But what I'm not going to do is at the end of the year, try to sit down and compile all of the income together. That's what I'm not going to do. So each month I go ahead and I track the business income for that current month, or that previous month if I'm doing it at the beginning of the new month. Now, the point that I want to drive home here is not just tracking income, but also tracking your expenses, because that is what typically gets out of hand. Now, tracking expenses is important. So if you've had business expenses, you want to make sure you are accounting for those so that your taxable income is less. That's essentially what it means. When you write off a business expense, that's essentially what it means. It means that you'll be able to subtract that from your taxable income, therefore being taxed on a lesser amount of your income, which is pretty much what everybody in the world wants. So you have to track your expenses, and those are the things that can really get out of hand. You might only have 3 payments in 1 month, or 3 income sources for which you've been paid, but you may have 15 expenses, and you don't want to be at the end of each quarter, if you're paying your taxes quarterly, or at the end of each year if you pay your taxes annually, trying to compile all of that information is going to be a headache. So go ahead and do that on a monthly basis. Also, do not forget do not forget to track all of your transportation, like your food if you had some kind of business related breakfast or lunch, or your mileage if you're going back and forth to the post office to ship orders. Don't forget to track your airfare. All of that can sometimes fall through the cracks, especially if you're a small business owner, because it may not seem as though it's a business expense, but it definitely is if you are traveling for work. So make sure you're tracking all of your expenses, the food that you're buying at the airport, all of that. Track it all if it's a business related expense. Tip number 2 is to save all of your receipts and your documents, contracts, all of that, and do it electronically. Gone are the days where we have to keep up with all these different papers and whatnot, because we're living in the age of technology that is performing at its finest. And so you want to make sure you are not only keeping up with all the documents, if you do have documents, but going ahead and converting those to electronic documents, so then you'll never lose them. You'll always know where they are, and you'll always be able to access them, because we now have things like drives, Google Drives, and all these other types of drives where we can keep up with our documents at all times. I do want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's video, which is Epson. Absolutely love them. I'm sure you've heard of them, and I actually have a number of their products, but one of the products that I want to share with you in today's video, especially if you are a small business owner, is their Rapid Receipt Scanner. Now, I actually happen to have the bigger one, which I don't even really consider big. I think it's still small in comparison to other machines, small but mighty, and a real powerhouse. But I also have the mobile Rapid Receipt Scanner as well, and it is more portable. I will say that. I've actually been using the Rapid Receipt Scanner for a couple of years, and like I said, it is a powerhouse. It quickly and easily converts financial documents, forms, receipts, all types of different documents into useful digital data. It integrates with popular financial applications such as Excel, TurboTax, and QuickBooks to quickly and accurately get your finances organized. It is the only solution on the market specifically designed for managing receipts and invoices. So once you scan the documents in, they will be converted to PDFs, which you can then edit, and then of course you can search for them. Again, I absolutely love mine. It's quick, efficient, it gets the job done, and I have yet to discover a product like it. Paper goes in and stress goes away. To check it out or get your hands on one, I will have a link in the description. Thank you again to Epson for sponsoring this portion of today's video. Now let's get back to these tips. My next tip is to find a CPA or a tax professional who not only understands but is going to be helpful. Obviously, that's what all tax professionals and CPAs are supposed to be doing, but if you can find one that you really, jive with, that is going to be most helpful. And I think it's going to be most helpful because then you can just go to the same one over and over and over again. So if you find one that's not really understanding your lingo, they're not really doing the job that you think that they need to be doing, definitely go ahead and find a new one, because what you want to do is, go use the same person over and over and over again. That's going to be good for them and their business, but also good for you and your business, because you won't have to keep going to new people and explaining this stuff over again and again and again and again and again. My next tip is to save a certain percent of your income. So you will learn quickly what percentage of your income you should be saving as a small business owner. Now, experts and folks out there will sometimes recommend that you should be setting aside about 15 to 25% of your income, your business income each month. Again, you'll have to decide how much you actually need to do depending on your situation. My husband and I have full-time jobs, so we have taxes coming out of there, additional taxes to help offset the amount. So we actually don't have to save as much as maybe someone else who is strictly a small business owner or whose main source of income is via their business. So definitely figure out with your tax professional which percentage of your income or how much you should be saving each month, and do that each month, because then you can pay your taxes quarterly without any issues, or you can pay your taxes annually, again, without any issues. Issues meaning not having enough money and having the feds to come after you. And another tip that is honestly really, really important is to make sure, if you have a side hustle, side business, whatever the case is, and it's just something on the side, or even if it's not something on the side, but especially if it's something, just a side something, I consider what I'm doing to be like a side something. If that is the case, or even if it's not, make sure that you are separating your business expenses from your personal expenses. they should never be crossing. Please make sure that you are separating your personal expenses from your business expenses. A lot of times I see that as it's a huge mistake, and I see it all the time. People start these side hustles or businesses and they're getting all this money and they're not treating that side hustle money or that business money as what it is, which is money that's not taxed. So oftentimes that money isn't taxed, and so you have to be cognizant of that. Please, 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 please make sure that you are separating your business income and expenses and your business budget from your personal expenses and income in your personal budget. I see it all the time. People are mixing and mingling the two, and that just makes it so very blurry and is going to make tax time so much more difficult if you've mixed everything all together. So as soon as possible, like yesterday, start making sure that you have a personal budget and a business budget. An easy way that I'm able to separate the two is by having an account, a checking account that is specifically for business expenses. So I make sure all of the subscriptions and expenses and everything that all my expenses, I make sure they come out of that account. So I can keep track of that and keep those expenses out of the way and separate and far, far away from our personal expenses in our personal bank account. And I do the same thing for the business income. All of it goes into that separate account. Now, another way that I'm able to keep everything separate is I'm able to, pay myself money from the business each and every month. And so I will figure out how much I want that to be. And then at the beginning of each month, I will pay that money to me, but we have, we finance together. So I pay that money to us and it goes in our personal checking account, and honestly, it gets invested. All of this money is going towards investing pretty much. So that's how we do things. I think it's super easy, super simple. I have a whole account separate for all the expenses and income. There's never a time where I can't cover an expense. There's always enough income in there to be able to cover the expenses. And as the month goes on, I will continue to receive, business payments and income in that business checking account. And then at the beginning of that new month, I will pay us what I feel comfortable paying us. So once the expenses have already come out for the month, the only other thing I have to worry about is taxes. So I will leave whatever money I need to leave in there for taxes, 10, 15% or whatever, and then I can pay us whatever is left. I don't always pay, just because I can pay myself $5,000 doesn't mean that I always do. I might not pay myself $5,000. I might do $3,000 because I do like to, kind of keep some money over there in case I want to reinvest into the business, in case I have to buy a new computer of some sort, which I honestly need a computer, but opted to buy an iPad instead. But I just make sure that I keep everything separate. Okay, so those are all of my tips. Let's talk about how much money I made in 2021. So in 2021, my gross cash inflow was $63,427.70, which so far is the most that I've ever made in 1 year. My gross outflow was $7,134.66. So that means that my net cash change was $56,293.04. So my gross cash inflow, the $63,000, that is how much I earned from all of my different income sources. My gross cash outflow, the $7,000, that is how much money I spent on business expenses, to include this iPad and all the other things that I purchased for the business. And then that meant that my net cash change, the $56,000, that was how much money I rightfully could keep after paying for my expenses. Now here's the catch. The catch is I do have to pay taxes on the $56,000. So the inflow, that's how much I get to write off, if you will, because that's how much it took me to actually run the business. And so I do have to pay taxes on the $56,000. We anticipate paying a 5-figure number for taxes each year anyway, so I'm not really too concerned, but that is how much money we'll have to pay on taxes this year. Okay, so let's talk about how I made this money. I received $468.31 from the Amazon affiliate program. I got $210 from the Chime affiliate program, $175 from the Chime referral program, $13,712.80 from Google AdSense. Thank you if you're watching the ads in this video. $2,509.34 from the Notique affiliate program, $331.90 from online coaching, $6,432.87 from sales, which is actually my Etsy shop. As you can see, that is way down than in previous years, but everything that I do is intentional, so that's pretty intentional. If you don't create and put out products and things like that, then obviously you're gonna have less sales because you're not going to be selling as much. But we'll talk more about that in a future video. From sponsorships, thank you if you're watching this video because it's sponsored. I received $39,506.41, which is the most that I've ever earned from sponsorships. I actually had 3 that were like 5,000, 6,000, 6,000. Actually, I had another one that was like 8,000, more than 8,000. So between those big 4 sponsorships, I mean, I received a lot, as you can see. And then I have some uncategorized income. I think I received like some perks, some Amazon gift cards and things for taking surveys and stuff like that. And that was $81.07. And for my purchases, honestly, I just purchased things for the shop. I purchased this iPad. I think I purchased a new phone for the business. I paid for postage and delivery. You know, that's all kind of boring, but that's where the $7,134.66 went. I'm looking at my sponsorships now, and I actually had 18 sponsorships. Now, that doesn't mean that I had 18 sponsored videos, because some of the sponsorships were multi-video sponsorships. So I actually probably had, I don't know, 25 sponsored videos. So I think that's pretty good. I try to put out 8 videos per month, or about 2 per week. So that is, let's see, 8 times 12 is 96. So therefore probably about 25 of the 96 100-ish videos were sponsored, which I think is pretty good, pretty fair. Shakes out to be about 2 videos per month. So that is it for today's video. Let me know in the comments section if you have any questions, comments, concerns about tax stuff as a small business owner, about the Rapid Receipt Scanner. Again, I've been using it for years, or even sponsorships, or how I made money online, or my online income sources, or any of that. I've shared my journey here for the past 5 years. So I will have a playlist linked down below and up here that you can check out to follow my journey from when I got my first YouTube paycheck, which was like $100, or yeah, about $100, about 5 years ago until now. And YouTube was my first, you know, income source that I discovered. So I have my journey shared from then until now if you want to check it out. So that is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I will have the Rapid Receipt Scanner linked below and everything else linked below, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye guys.